As part of tree appreciation, I just want to mention some of the key evolutionary attributes that separates trees from other living species and organisms. It's not really fair to continue to talk about trees in a blanket way in so many respects because they've split off and they're so wide and varied. It's a bit like saying mammals, but here we go anyway. In the 1960s, biologists started to look at the strategies used by different species for survival, whether they were long-lived caring for their young or they produced loads of offspring but they were short-lived and they didn't really care about them and kind of moved on and moved out that way. So you have two categories that they came up with: K strategists and R strategists. K is humans, birds, mammals, whales, all that kind of crack. And they are bigger, stronger, competitive. It takes them longer to reach maturity, but once they do, they produce fewer offspring over a long period of their life. And they look after their young, but they prefer stable conditions. Or strategists, you have rodents, insects, bacteria, and all that kind of stuff. And they are smaller, weaker, shorter lived. They're not very competitive. They reach maturity very quickly. They have a huge amount of offspring, which don't have a great survival rate, but they don't look after them. And key to their survival is that they can inhabit unstable environments or conditions. Any time I've seen these tables, or any time trees are brought up within this biological context, they're always put into K strategists, which is fair, right? Because they are big, strong, slow to reach maturity, competitive. Now, when I say slow to reach maturity, some trees are obviously fruiting after 2 or 3 years, but I'm talking about like the beech. It takes it about 40 years to reach maturity before it flowers and starts throwing out seeds. Trees also have the best of the R strategists' traits. They produce a load of offspring. While there isn't a very high survival rate, they can capitalize and inhabit unstable environments and actually hugely impact on those environments once they get in there and start to host other living species working with them and all that kind of crack. So why mention all this? As a designer, as a landscape architect, for me, what's really important is choosing the right species for the environment that it's going into, as opposed to the argument of native versus non-native. And that's that's a whole different clip onto itself. So have a think about that anyway, and I'll talk to you soon.